This is Detective JB back with another video, and today we've got an exciting video. The Royal Rumble for WWE is coming up soon. I'm wearing a Rick Boogs t-shirt, and this is our predictions. So we're gonna start the countdown for entrant number 1. Johnny Knoxville, number 1. That is my prediction on who's going to be number 1 in the Royal Rumble. He was qualified not too long ago. I think he's going to dunk the number 2 entrant over the top rope. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe as well. Sami Zayn, the number 2 entrant. I think Johnny's going to dunk Sami over the top. All right, it's time for the next entrant. Biggie, the person that lost the WWE Championship at day 1. He's going to come and I think he's going to destroy Knoxville to the point he's going to have to roll out the ring and just stay on the outside for the next part of the match. But it's time for the next entrant. And number 4. Damian Preist, the United States Champion, is coming in the number 4 spot. Great match. Priest versus Big E would probably be a very good match. But it's time for the next entrant. One half of the Usos, Jey Uso, is coming in the Rumble. Yeah, he's definitely not going to win, but here we go. Next entrant. We don't like the bloodline here. Alright, of course his brother has to come after him to make sure they're going to double team their way through the Rumble. Because Jimmy Uso's coming up next. It's time for the next entrant. Sheamus, the guy that beat Ricochet Cesaro all by himself at day 1 because his partner got taken out with a nose injury or a broken nose. He should not have won that match, and we all know it. But it's time for the next entrant. Rey Mysterio is making his way in the match. He was one of the people that already qualified for the match along with Sheamus, Damian Preist, and a couple others. But I wonder how he's going to be with the tag team with him and Dominik in the Rumble. But either way, it's time for the next entrant. Omos. Now this guy is going to come in there and probably wreck everybody, I'll tell you that. They've overpushed him. Like imagine Omos versus Shanky again, even though we all know Omos is going to win. But Omos is going to come in there and wreck. He's a very top contender for winning the Rumble. Although, I'd be okay with seeing it. But, there we go. It's time for the next entrant. And then here comes the other half of the Mysterios with Dominik entering the match. Then again, he was qualified along with Rey. But it's time for the next entrant. Austin Theory. There's a theory going on right now about him winning the Rumble. At the pace he's been going at, I don't think that'll happen. Like, they kind of slowed down his push before day 1. Either way, it's time for the next entrant. the debut of Gable Steveson. This guy has done nothing since the draft. And I feel like he's going to get squashed by one of the people in there. Like someone like Big E's just going to come in there and wreck him. But it's time for the next entrant. Kofi Kingston. He's taking the 13th spot, the unlucky position. And even though he is a Rumble veteran, he's probably going to do hopefully another save in this match, which hopefully will be very epic. Either way, it's time for the next entrant. Elias. I believe that's our first shocker in this match. Elias coming at the 14th position. Although that may not be what he looks like, but earlier, before the draft, he just went off TV and hasn't done nothing for months. Hopefully he's going to come back in a crazy persona or something. Like, Elias is dead, as people say. But earlier I said, what if Elias comes back in the Doink the Clown persona or something? That would have been hilarious, although I don't think that would be able to happen. Either way, it's time for the next entrant. He might not even go by the name Elias anymore. We don't know. I'm sure everyone will still refer to him as Elias. But Hornswoggle coming back in the match. Imagine this. The last time he was in a Rumble, I believe, was like the 2019 Women's Rumble or something, where he showed up and just chased Zelina Vega around the entrance. Either way, it's time for the next entrant. The guy that's on my t-shirt right now. I've only worn one wrestling t-shirt, and that was the Finn Balor one on Christmas Day. Nakamura's been out with a hand injury for the moment, but it's time for the next entrant either way. Kane. The next shocker, really. Although he's still a part-time wrestler, and he's been the last time we've seen him was on one of the episodes when they were in Knoxville, Tennessee, for Bianca Belair's thing. But the last time we've seen Kane wrestle, I believe, was in the 2021 Men's Rumble. I believe that was the last time he wrestled. That was really cool. But either way, the Demon Kane is in the Rumble. Now it's time for the next entrant. Dawkins makes his way in the Rumble. And one half of the Street Profits, probably going to be a lot of tag team work in the Rumble. But yeah, Angelo Dawkins is in the Rumble. It's time for the next entrant. The only thing to say about the participants in this Rumble is like the shockers. That's really all you got to say for them. All the other people we already know. Alright, and then here comes Montez Ford, the other half of the Street Profits. I wonder if they're going to dump a bunch of red Solo cups on people's heads during the match. Something like that. That would be cool. Either way, it's time for the next entrant. Ricochet. This guy, for me, he needs a big push. Like in that last match of day one, that should set him up to have a good showing and last a long time in the Rumble. For me, he's in my top 3 picks of people I really want to see win the Rumble. Either way, it's time for the next. Cesaro. This is an old picture of Cesaro, but either way, Cesaro, he needs another push. He'd also be one of the guys I really want to see win the Rumble, although that's probably not going to happen because of the way WWE's been using him. But it's time for the next entrant. guess you could say the next shocker, or really not a shocker since he hasn't wrestled since the draft. You could probably assume he's going to be in the Rumble, more than likely. But here comes Veer. Nobody's probably going to like him. I don't know why they split him up from Jinder and Shanky. That was probably a dumb move, but whatever. It's time for the next entrant. Happy Corbin, entrant number 23. Surprisingly, no one's really been hating on him all that much. But he's going to be in here. He's probably going to dump a bucket of coins or cash on someone's head and then hit him with the end of days. But either way, it's time for the next entrant. I hope Happy Corbin does not win this Rumble. AJ Styles recently came back up from NXT with a minor feud with Grayson Waller for whatever reason. I do believe he beat him, as he should, but now he's back on Raw, where he remains on Raw. Either way, it's time for the next entrant, although he's probably going to have a very good fight with Omos in that match, because Omos been pushed. I figured they'd keep him in there long enough to meet AJ. Kurt Angle, the next shocker, I guess you could say, that is the next shocker, other than Veer, I guess you could say. But Kurt Angle, I'm not sure what the possibilities are of him being in this Rumble. This one's probably the most far-fetched out of them all. But it's a possibility. I don't think he's been doing anything ever since his release or anything. But so it's a possibility. It's time for the next entrant, though. Knight. I believe was that the second person from NXT I put in this match, or I think he may have been the first person I put in NXT. Maybe the only one I put. But LA Knight, he came out after AJ beat Grayson Waller, so they're probably going to have a couple of matches on NXT. But either way, LA Knight I think he should have a good showing in the match. But either way, it's time for the next. This definitely needs to be a Fortnite emote. Do the Infinity T-Rex pose. King Woods. He's the king, bro. He deserves a spot number 27, the lucky spot. King Woods coming in at number 27. He's going to have a great showing in the match. At least I hope he does. But it's time for the next entrant. Number 28. This is the other guy that I think should have a great showing in the match. He's also the last guy, I presume, who's going to win the Rumble. I believe he is the best out of the 3 picks I made, like Balor, Ricochet, and Cesaro. He's probably the one that's most likely to happen. Either way, it's time for the next entrant. Gregory Helms, Shane Hills, whatever you want to call him. Hurricanes coming back in the match. He was in last year's Rumble as well in the 2017 Rumble, when he made a shocking appearance until getting thrown out by John Cena. Either way, it's time for the next entrant, and this is number 30. This is the big one. This is the most far-fetched one out of them all. But I can explain. You got a dab. The Fiend, number 30. I believe I kind of have a little bit of a conspiracy on why I think the Fiend might be coming back. The Fiend, he left to do Hollywood, kinda. So it's a possibility. WWE released him for budget cuts, so they don't have to pay for his contract since he's not actively working for the company when he's out in Hollywood. So it's a possibility he could come back at the Rumble, although it's very far-fetched and probably not going to happen. It still might happen. Kurt Angle and The Fiend are the most far-fetched ones in this match. Other ones kind of make sense, like the other shockers, and then you got current main roster stuff. But for now, this is going to be Detective GBB going out.